What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Swagcast. Today we have an MMA vet, a former UFC light heavyweight, just fought in Mike Perry's Dirty Boxing event. I give you Fabio Water Buffalo Cherant. What's going on, baby? How you doing, brother?
Nothing much, bro. I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm great. I'm very happy to have you on. Thank you so much for answering my DMs. So let's dive right into it. So
Let's go.
you were born in Brooklyn. Can you talk about growing up in New York and like getting into fighting over there, or did you not get into fighting until you moved over to Boston?
Yeah, no, I didn't get into fighting till I was 21. I Brooklyn was like really, really gritty. You know what I mean? I had to grow up at like a really young age. At like the age of 7, 8 years old, me and my cousins and friends would roam the streets till whatever time, doing like stealing people's bikes, doing some crazy stuff, man. And I moved to Boston like when I got into foster care. When I was like 8 or 9, like later in the year, like when I was like 8, 9 years old, and then I started school in Boston. And yeah,
So you said you didn't get into fighting until you were 21.
yeah.
What kind of led you to starting to train?
Man, I've been home for a couple of years now. From at this point, I've been home from for a couple of years from basic training, and I was a reservist in the army, so I was
Okay.
home a lot, and I was kind of lost and like depressed, and going to the gym wasn't doing it, and I got invited um to a gym after my 21st birthday. I walked into that gym and started training.
Okay, so what was like the year when you started trading?
2016, 2015, around there.
Okay, so you start trading in 2015. You make your amateur debut in 2016. At that
Yeah.
point, did you already know you wanted to go pro?
Yeah. As soon as after my first fight, I was just like, yeah, this is crazy. And I was like intrigued right off the jump, you know?
Yeah. So you went on a crazy tier at amateur, and it didn't take you too long to get to the pros at all because you make your pro debut in 2018 in CS. Shout out Rhode Island. And where were you training mostly at the current time? And like, who were your main partners up there in Boston?
I was cross training between Sit with Mark Delagrati, and then Triforce BJJ and Pawtucket at the time. I don't know if it moved or not, but I was training there.
Yeah.
And then I was training at Lozon's, and then when COVID happened, I mixed in my boxing gym in Cranston, Rhode Island, which is called 401 Boxing.
Okay. All right. So Triforce is still there. It's just much bigger. They
Yeah,
like expanded. It's like I don't know. You probably haven't seen the renovations. It's like the most beautiful gym we've ever had in Rhode Island. Like we're used to like the ratty like basement looking gyms,
yeah.
and like they really put it on for their renovations. I'm not
Yeah,
too
I haven't
familiar
been.
with that boxing gym in Cranston, but yeah, no,
Yeah, it's a great
Triforce.
gym.
Yeah, we there's a lot of boxing gyms down in Cranston. Cranston's just like a really big. I mean, that's where Vinny Paz is from.
Yeah,
They say Vinny Paz is from Providence, but he mostly like did his stuff in Cranston. Like everything
yeah.
he
It
did
says
was in
it has that in the in his movie.
Yeah. My so funny story. I kind of wasn't allowed to watch I still haven't watched it. My dad hated Vinny Paz growing up. They're the
Really.
same age. They grew up together. My dad hated Vinny Paz. My dad was like, "I'll disown you as a son if you watch the movie." And I mean, God rest his soul, he passed away, but I still won't watch the movie now because I'll feel terrible throughout the entire movie. I can't enjoy the movie. There's no way.
Damn.
There's no way. So no, but I get fuck Vinny Paz, I guess.
Yeah.
So you get called up to the UFC in 2021 after going on a crazy tear with a 7-1 record. Can you
Yeah.
talk about the build up to that and like what it meant to be able to make the walk in the UFC?
Oh man, I think it was just honestly, COVID opened my eyes for to a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
and during that period, all I was doing was I was really just working out at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I would do strength and conditioning later during the day before going to bed,
Okay.
and yeah, it was I'm sorry, I just got totally distracted.
No, you're fine.
What are you? No, no. So I was right before COVID. What happened was, right, I was supposed to fight, and COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got you're from the area. You know what happened, bro. Everything was shut down.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like, yeah, I was supposed to fight for CES. I think
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it was either CES or Cage Titans, one or the other, and it got canceled. And we I didn't have anywhere to train. Everything was closed down, and all I was doing was boxing and like trying to find like me and my buddy Sean Lally. We would go train in his garage boxing and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Eventually, like LFA gave me an opportunity to fight for them, and I fought for CES, and then LFA hit me up, was like, "Yo, do you want to fight for the belt?" I'm like, "Shit, let's do it." You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then I think that right there is like the nail that got me my shot to the UFC.
So when you finally get the UFC call, first of all, is it a call? Like, is it a
Yeah,
call or is it like who called you?
my manager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So the UFC calls the manager, and then the man. I always forget about the fucking manager. I always forget
yeah,
there's a fucking middleman.
yeah, yeah.
so so when the manager calls you and tells you, hey, you're fighting in the UFC, how does that like what? Is there like an excitement? Are you nervous? Like what? Can you tell me what was going through your head?
Dog, to be honest, it was a fucked up couple hours. So I remember that day, right? I was training at my buddy's gym. I just got done training somebody, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go home before I have to go train. And it was like midday, like it had just hit 12 p.m. And I'm waking up from a nap. I get a call from my manager. He's like, oh, how much do you weigh? I'm like, oh fuck, that means like something's coming, you know what I mean? And I didn't think it was gonna be like anything crazy because the day before that he had called me to be an alternate on the PFL, and I'm like, if that call's coming, then the UFC one's gonna come, shortly after. And fucking sure than shit, the next day it comes.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sitting in my bedroom, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck does he want? You know what I mean? So he asked me how much I weigh. I run and jump on the scale, and I was 227. I'm like, oh, I'm 224 right now. I lied to him because I'm like, because if I tell him I'm that heavy, he's gonna be pissed. So he's like, you think you could make 205 by Friday? I'm like,
And what day is it?
what? It's Wednesday.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and I'm 227, so
Yep.
it's Wednesday, and I'm like, oh fuck, right? I'm like, yeah, yeah, no, I could definitely make it, but I'm like, what's this for? And he goes, the UFC. They want you to fight Alonzo Menifeld. So like, my fucking adrenaline's pumping right now, because if you know who Alonzo Menifeld is,
Yep.
he's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh fuck, what a fucking what a introduction to the UFC, you know? So I'm like, I'm gonna call my managers. Maybe one of them will tell me no, it's too soon, you know? And not my manager, my coaches. And both my coaches were like, let's do it. Let's do it. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh fuck. So like
Yes,
my
sir.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything's going right now. My adrenaline's going. I'm nervous, and I'm like, I'm excited. And I just start cutting weight. And yeah, bro, it was a hell. to get down to 206.5,
Hmm.
but we managed to do it, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it actually, if you go down, it actually says you missed a weight in your
I
debut.
did. Y- I kind of got fucked, right?
Yeah.
So mind you, fight. I find out about the fight Wednesday. I
Hmm.
start cutting weight from 227, and when I get to Vegas, they're like, you can't leave your room until you get cleared for COVID. So during that time, I start cutting weight the only way that I can, which is hitting pads and sitting in the sauna.
Hmm.
So I'm exerting all of my energy early, doing stuff that I would not be doing. You know what I mean? And I couldn't use the treadmill till the morning of weigh-ins. That's when I could use the treadmill and stuff. So by then my energy was like actually no, maybe it was like I forget. It was like I had a short window to use the treadmill and the bikes and stuff. And by the time I could, I was already drained. I was tired. Um it sucked. But when I get to the scale, they're like, "Yo, do you want?" Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, I made 206.5. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna give me a hard time about the point 0.5 because it's the 1 pound over, you know.
Yeah.
And I I'm like, all right, there's no way they're gonna give me a hard time. And they're like, yeah, what do you plan on doing about the point 0.5? I'm like, are you guys know I found out about this fight on Wednesday, right? They're like, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, if I have to cut the weight, then I'll cut the weight. And so they're like, all right, you have to go get cleared by the doctor. And so I go try to get cleared by the doctor before getting cleared to go cut the weight. They're like, no, you can't cut too much more weight. I'm like, bro, then what the fuck was the point of even giving me the option to try and cut it? But they found out. Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby and all them found out about what I went through to cut all that weight, and they were like, "Yeah, we're not gonna dock your pay or anything."
Oh,
So that
okay.
was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I was going through and I was confused because I didn't see any like purse given over, and and I do remember when that happened back in 2021 because all we had was MMA at one point because sports were so slow. COVID fucked
Yeah,
everything, and it was fucking fighters too, left and right. You're not the only one to get fucked by COVID restrictions. It
yeah.
was it was that time was a so crazy time in just sports in general, and I'm so glad we're kind of past it. Uh,
Hmm.
so you get through the weight cut. You're able to make the walk. How does it feel getting out, walking to the octagon? You know, hearing your music. How does your is your adrenaline pumping? Then how's the energy
Yeah,
there? Like,
I was still a little I can't really explain it. My body still wasn't fully there because of
the
all the
weight cut.
weight that
Yeah.
I had to cut in such a short window. But I felt good. You know what I mean? The environment was definitely different because like you can feel with all the production team and everybody there and all of that. I think that's right there where everything changes is with all the cameras and all that shit like that. The
Hmm.
people there don't really bother me much. It's when all you see all the cameras pointed at you, you hear your music on, like fans start saying shit. It's like it's crazy.
The bright lights. You know
Yeah,
the bright lights and every UFC fighter I've talked to says the same thing that it's crazier when you get to that level. It's just
she's up.
oh no.
Yeah, damn.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, so you go on a three-fight skid in the UFC. Can you talk about like the mental toll that can take on somebody and how you manage to stay on top of it and continue to train?
Man, it was tough, you know. I felt like I kind of got rubbed the wrong way being in the UFC, but it is what it is. Like I felt like I was a marketable guy. I could.
No, for
Like
sure.
you could have built me up, and like there's plenty of guys I think that when I was in on the roster that I could have beaten, and every single person I was offered were just up and coming killers like I am. You know what I mean? But there's other guys that are on the roster that I was just sitting there not doing much that I could have been fighting, instead of Carlos Oberg and William Knight and Alonzo Minifeld. Two of the guys that I fought are ranked fucking light heavyweights.
Yeah.
One of them's one fight away from fighting for the belt. It's like, bro, fuck, But I wanted to prove that I am better than each one of those losses, and that's what kept me going.
Mhm. Yeah, 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 no, and ultimately, the goal's still not over. The job's still not finished. So can we
No.
talk? Can we talk about Mike Perry's Dirty Boxing event real quick
Yeah,
and how
yeah.
that opportunity came about?
I'm like big in crypto Twitter and stuff like that. And one of the guys that I followed a while back, I saw him tweeting about it. He's like a big MMA. He follows a lot of MMA, and he supports Mike Perry. And yeah, so his name's Ice Bags. He has his own project and everything like that on uh on the ETH chain, but I saw him tweet about it, and I was like, "Yo, like, when this actually happens, I want in on it. I want to fight." And little like couple weeks ago, I mean, a couple weeks before they announced the fights, my manager hit me up and was like, "Yo, do you want to fight for them?" I'm like, "Hell yeah! Just find me a guy, and I'm down." And yeah, we made it happen.
Yeah, yeah. So you get the fight, you get your opponent. Um, how did that work? Did you know your opponent before the event started?
I knew him because I seen him fight on Rough and Rowdy and stuff.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
But so like they because we didn't the public didn't know about the fights until like a couple of days prior. And then
yeah,
like
no,
the way they dropped the footage was like kind of crazy, like fight by
yeah.
fight, just like a little bit on social. So can we talk about the punch in the back of the head and kind of how you got like screwed?
Yeah, for sure, bro. And it's funny because like now that they just posted on Twitter the full fight, and bro, there's so many punches to the back of my head that I get hit with, and I'm like, how the fuck does this referee not see any of these? You know what I mean? Like after the fight, I had people coming up to me saying, "Yo, I saw you get hit in the back of the head," and I'm like, "Bro, like, how come you fucking people could see it, and the dude inside the fucking ring with me, can't?"
Yeah.
Like, bro, like it was like I've been hit with hard punches, and and walked through them, and been knocked out once from one, and that was William Knight. And this every single time I got hit in the back of the head, you can see how it affected me. You know what I mean? Like, and that guy didn't punch that hard.
Yeah.
I felt his hardest punches. Like, you watch that video and you'll see how dirty he is. Like, they posted the full fight. You watch how everything rolls out. I got punched in the back of the head more than 3 times, and that should not have been a thing. You know what I mean? Like, that dude was very dirty. He took the dirty boxing name literal.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks because I feel like the only way this guy could win the fight was making it dirty, and look at what happened.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Hopefully, hopefully the Florida State Commission overturns the fight, but we'll see what happens.
yeah, yeah, no, that would be nice if they could do that. Would you take another fight with the Dirty Boxing if
Oh, for
it came
sure,
out?
for sure. For sure. I have, you can't blame the promotion for what
Yeah,
happened, you know what
absolutely
I
not.
mean? It's not on them, it's not on Mike. If anybody should get the blame, it's the referee, but like in the case, like, yo, it's the first time the referee is doing a fight like that. But on the other hand, it's like, bro, we were all given the rules, you know what I mean? And you can fucking see a punch to the back of the head and know that's illegal. You know what I mean? Like the dude went for a judo throw on me in the first round. That's not. But I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like, do your job, ref. Like it was pretty bad. But again, I don't know if it's because it was new rules or if this guy is just dumb. You know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was definitely a bad display. He for his part, like he definitely hopefully he doesn't get invited back. So what is next for you? What if not dirty boxing, is it back to the cage? Is it back to MMA?
I don't know. We'll see, man. I I do plan on retiring when I turn 32.
Okay.
However many fights I can squeeze in within those 2 years is what I plan on doing, and we'll see.
Do so. Last question. I was gonna ask if you have dreams of the UFC again, but you only have 2 years left, and I assume you do. You do have a little bit of bad blood still with the UFC. You want to get back in there and prove that you can get a W with the UFC gloves on. Do you think
I'm
you have the energy to be able to get that opportunity within the 2 years?
I mean, I take 3 fights from here to by from here to fucking, let's say, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
I think I get two good wins, right, and then I fight for some regional scene for a belt or something like that, and I can get back in the talks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, it's very possible. I mean, I could always go to the route of going into the PFL, entering that tournament. You know, I have some options. Would I like to go back into the UFC and get a win and ride off? That'd be cool too, you know. But yeah, I just know that I made that goal and I set it. 32, and and I'm gone.
Well, it's been hell of a journey, and we're definitely going to be watching close for the next 2 years. Thank you so much for coming on, Fabio. Do you have anything you want to shout out before we get out of here?
No, man. Anybody watching or listening, um, tune in, man. We're gonna get some good wins on the 2025 year, and hopefully get some big fights for 2026 and ride off.
Hell yeah, that's what we like to hear, brother. Well, you know where to find us every single Wednesday on every single platform, Fabio. It's been a pleasure, brother. Thank you so much, and we will see y'all every Wednesday. Peace.